Good afternoon, Adab, Assalamu alaikum. I would like to express my gratitude and thanks to Sunanda ji and Ranjan ji for their kind invite and also for their visit to our gallery. My personal thanks to Ranjan ji for taking us on a sentimental journey way back into Burn Hall days, reflecting upon that joy, that happiness, that sense of wonder, and that hope which made that period the most glorious of all. Today I will be talking about shrinking water bodies and environmental degradation. Well, this presentation is based on detailed data analysis and reports that have recently been submitted by CAG. Also, we have the data that I collected from SCOST and other agencies associated with this, with these works. To just yes, slide. As per the latest study, with 1967 as our benchmark, total number of lakes we had in the state was 697 lakes we had. Now, at present, 518 of them have degraded. There are more than 315 which are untraceable or which are not even in the records. And degradation is for more than 200 lakes itself. Now, our water system here follows a standard hydrological system. That means if there is any degradation on the upstream side or on the downstream side, the impact is all across the network. So, in terms of area, the total number of, we have lost quite a significant amount of area in our wastelands. We have lost more than 3,000 hectares of our water bodies and also of our lakes. Now, these losses are like due to degradation, due to environmental impacts, are permanent losses, and these are the ones where the entire system looks very destabilized. Now, the main, if you see the reason we have is with the responsibility matrix. Our lakes and wetland there are a number of agencies that are taking care of these wetlands. There's a forest department, revenue department, agricultural department, wildlife department. So we have multiple authorities with diffuse responsibility and weak conservation. Now, after going through, we have listed main KPIs, like if we start with planning, we need an integrated lake management plan and catchment approach. There is no comprehensive planning. Focus is only on few lakes. There's only 6 lakes that the state government is taking care of. Rest of them are not in the frame at all. Institutional setup. There should be a single authority with clear roles and responsibility. Here, as you see, we have multiple agencies, fragmented and lack of accountability. Land management. Our land acquisition is very dismal. It takes a lot of time for acquisition. By the time we are there is a lot of encroachment on Dal side, on the periphery side of our lakes. Pollution control. Now, if you see the function of STPs, ideally these should have been connected. In our case, our STPs are incomplete. We have networks where raw sewer still flows in the lake itself. I will elaborate it further when we come to Dal Lake, because we raised this issue with the state government. Then catchment treatment. Micro level planning, micro level watershed management is very essential. In here, what we have out of 15, we have only 4 microshed treated and there is continued siltation and nutrient inflow in the lake itself. Ecological management. Regular de-weeding and biodiversity restoration should have been ideal process. It is improper and excessive weed growth. Our lakes have turned eutrophications. Monitor and data, real-time monitoring and evaluation system. We have very weak monitoring, poor data system, delayed response and ineffective action. Financial utilization, well over 45 crore rupees have been spent on STPs, and if you see the parameters of water, they don't conform to the standards and specifications they were designed for. And this has also Pollution Control Board and other agencies even have taken note of it, but there should be a full-fledged audit to see that what is going back into the lake. Then governance and coordination. There is absolutely no interagency coordination, or it is very weak. It looks like there's a policy paralysis and there are delayed actions. Now, let me tell you something about, we start with few lakes, and this is all across. For instance, Wooler Lake in 1911, total area of Wooler Lake in 1911 was 217 square kilometers, with 57 square kilometers as marshy land. Now, in 2007, Wooler Lake area has shrunk to 80 square kilometers, with only 30 square kilometers as clear water area. Now, there was because quite a substantial population is dependent on this lake, on Wooler Lake, on peripheries. So there's work done by SCOST. The baseline is 1950. In 1950, the fish catch was about 10,554 tons per year. Now, recently recorded in 2007, it has come down to 1,476 tons per year. That means this fish production is very badly affected. Another study done by SCOST was to see catch per hour. In 1980s, recorded catch per hour by the fishermen was roughly about 5 kgs per hour. Now it has come down to 237 grams. Then use percentage of area which is completely atrophic is 57%. Percentage of open area that has shrunk is by 25%. So day in and day out, this lake is under stress. Now I come to this is the work which we did. We went to Bandipora town and we found that all the dark waters from each and every house, it flows through, it goes to Sindh Nala, it goes to irrigation canals, and finally it comes to Wooler. We took the study of our own, we did a complete topographic survey, and we identified 5 locations from where this water is discharged to the water bodies. And we prepared a report to the government telling them that we need to have an anaerobic solution. We gave the solution before this water can be released into Sindh or other streams. I think that file is still pending there. There has been no action. And why we are emphasizing on Bandipora and Wooler is it is a cluster problem. The problem is with Bandipora town, and it is assuming regional. It has regional consequences because whole Wooler Lake is affected, and also one of our dear friends, Dr. Kuru, he has done a study on waterborne diseases on the downstream side of Wooler. He identified the worst affected areas were the areas where this raw sewage flows directly into Sindh. So it is very important that this issue is addressed and we can contain the disease itself, whatever is happening at the downside side. These are the pipes that are directly going into Wooler Lake, Ross River. So we have then these here, but in spite of all this, we still find in winters, my friend Rian, he goes and he takes these birds who come up. It is their homeland. They are as much aggrieved as we are seeing the state of affairs in the Wooler Lake itself. Similar situation is with the Dal Lake. The total area of Dal Lake was 15.4 square kilometers in 2007. Now in 2020, this area has been reduced by 12.91 square kilometers. So almost 10% of area we are losing. The reason is again same. Ross River and the land acquisition delay, a lot of stress on the periphery of the lake itself. During the last meeting here, I personally requested the Chief Minister to take up, because we have an issue here, a lot of dabas have come up on the lakeside. And these dabas carry high percentage of fat and grease and fat. This grease and fat, STPs are not designed for this kind of, things. So result is, there has to be an engineering intervention, mechanical intervention, where this grease and this oils are treated before this water is allowed to go into the drains itself. I think this is a very serious problem, because what LADA is doing, they are coming up and harassing the hoteliers or blacklisting them. That is not the solution. Solution is to find at the cluster level what can be done to address this issue. Similarly, now these are the photographs of interior of our lakes. Then this is Barren Number. Again, the state is status